MotleyMuseArt.com. So you want to learn the tricks on how to sell art. Well, I've been selling paintings for many years, so let me show you all the ins and the outs and what to do. First of all, don't be sad and big drama queen that you can't do this, because trust me, a long time ago I felt I couldn't. Have a positive attitude and know you can. Always assume the sale. The more you get out there and practice, the better you're going to get at sales. It doesn't happen overnight. Being a social butterfly is one of my biggest secrets. It has helped me get to where I'm at today. Don't chase people, attract them to you. Another thing to keep in mind is to sell what you love. The more you are happy doing what you love, the better you're going to be at doing it. So make sure that it's something that you can do repeatedly over and over again every single day, and you won't get burned out. You're going to have to work at it. It's going to grow over time, little by little. The more work you put into it, the better results you're going to have. Remember when you were a kid and you had a lot of fun just creating and doing? I want you to keep that in mind and continue that youthful spirit. Keep practicing and learning. Keep learning how to do your art and learning how to sell your art. Watch videos, read blogs, talk to people. After all these years, I am still studying and trying to become a better artist than I was yesterday. We never stop learning. So when we start out, we first have to create the art. Then we need to figure out the selling of the art, and then talking to the customers and getting the money, which then makes us want to make more art, figure out how to sell the art, and then get the customers money. It's a vicious circle. If we don't get the money from the customer, then we don't have the money to buy the art supplies. So it's continuing over and over again. And the more you work on this, the better you're going to get. You're not going to be this master artist within the first hour of trying to do this. It does take time. When pricing art, this is how I do it. I like to make $20 an hour. So with a stopwatch, I figure out how much time I've spent. I add it together. I also add in an hour for the time I would talk to the customer, and I'm on the computer advertising and putting it on my website. I also add in the money that I spent with the art supplies that I used. I also budget in an extra $1 or $2 for gas for getting to and from the art fair and getting to and from the store. Buy your stuff in bulk, make it cheaper. Some artists choose not to go this route, but I have found that using the computer and all that it has to offer has helped me greatly with the business portion of my art. It's great to get out there and meet people, talk to people, get your art in front of people. For me personally, that is why I create art. Yes, I do find it fulfilling, but if I can't share it with others, then it's kind of sad for me. Social media has been a great way for free advertising and to connect and have a connection with people that might be around the world, which oftentimes they usually are. It grows and you're just going to have to keep working it. When I create a painting, I put all my love into it. When I am done creating, I categorize it and put it into different sections and files, and then later into boxes to help me ship them to the art galleries and fairs that I do. It is an easy way to organize better you keep your art studio, the easier it's going to be. When selling outside at vendor fairs, I've noticed that I've had a lot of success when selling in late spring and early summer. I like to pick a day that's nice and sunshiny with maybe a small little breeze, but not too big of a breeze. It has happened to me where I've been rained on and it has ruined my painting, so be wary of that. I always take out with me a couple of tables. This is the easiest method I've found to set up paintings. I lay them on the top surface with a nice pretty cloth around the table, and everybody can see them. As I sell a painting, I add another one to the table from my car or the boxes I have underneath the table. I also always bring one chair just for me so I can sit down, because I like to maximize my time. I am the first one there and the last one to leave. I like to make sure I sell all of my art and have enough time. So take a chair. It's also a thing to consider. How are you going to get your stuff there? Do you need a big, huge truck, or can you fit it in your car? Right now, I'm using an SUV, and it suits my purposes just nicely. I am selling 16 by 20 canvases, and normally in my SUV, I can fit about 100 of them if I pack them correctly. Another thing that I do is that I have an integration with PayPal, so I can take debit cards from my phone. I can swipe them or type in the numbers, and it emails a receipt to the customer. Makes it very simple, but for the most part, almost 90% of the time, they always pay me in cash. I like to keep track of what I'm doing with my sales. I graph the weather, how many people were there, how many I sold. But most of all, it's a lot easier for me to do this on a paper, so that way I'm not in my phone all day looking like I'm occupied, because customers won't want to talk to me if I'm occupied on my phone. And you just kind of gotta work it and keep going. Your first art fair, you're not going to sell all your paintings. My goal is to sell all of them and take nothing back home with me, but there's always a couple stragglers at the end of the day. So the last hour of the fair, I like to discount my prices a lot just so I can get rid of the paintings that have already been picked through and I can get on with my life and have new stuff. Now, another way you can go about doing this is by using an art gallery. That's when you give them your art and then they pretty much do all of the work of talking to the customer for you. Now, sometimes it's good if you're there also and you have like a meet and greet and all that with some of the customers. That's great, but mostly you just leave it to them and they do all the work. They'll have a trained professional that'll be able to do this all for you. So if you're shy with talking to people, this is the way to go. They have the clientele, they advertise, they're out there doing things, but make sure that you find a good, reputable place and you know and you see that they're actively pushing your art and talking to customers and bringing clientele into their gallery, because sometimes these places, they're kind of lazy and they want you to do it. And then also you got to think of price too, because for their services, they need to charge money so they can pay their bills. Normally 30% to 50% of the sale price is what they keep. This will be decided on a contract that you sign prior to them selling your art. Remember, everybody constantly gets bombarded with ads and messages yelling at them to buy things. So when you're talking to your customer, tell them the story, the lifestyle, what's behind the scenes. Make a two-way conversation. They'll be more likely to buy from you if you're not just trying to shove it down their throat that they have to give you money now. Make them want to give you the money. Tell them the behind the scenes. Why is it that this painting is going to make their life better? Why do they need it? And then also put it for a good price that they can afford it and it would make sense. Here is an example of a way that you can set up your art. Notice how the people always just kind of walk by really quickly and then they will glance and look. If they like what they see, they will stop and stare longer. Usually those are the people I like to talk to. I prefer to talk to everybody that passes by, but sometimes you can't always do this, so you have to be very selective to who you're talking to. Remember, time is money. Also, keep your space really clean and orderly, straight to the point. When in front of the customer, Make sure that your outfit says that you are a professional. Be approachable. Don't stink. Don't wear things that are weird and awful. Be approachable. Don't be scary. Dress for the weather. I personally like to dress in muted colors so that way my bright paintings will really stand out. My goal is to talk to as many people as possible that pass by my booth. I like to draw attention to my booth. And in the moment, if I see that somebody is intently looking at something, I keep my focus and the topic of discussion on that painting that they're looking at. And I like to tell them a little bit about the story of how it came to be and why I like the painting. Sometimes I might even ask, would it look good in their home? And then they think, and usually by then they'll buy the painting if they like it. But if they don't, it's okay. I always have a little business card that I can give them so that way when they leave and they go home, it's still in their pocket. I put my website, one of the pictures of a painting that I have, and I usually like to add a little promo code in there. So that way they have incentive to want to go to my website. And later, they usually do. I have a good success rate that they will be online. And I have all my social media links connected to my website. So if they wanted to go that route, they can. But really, the ultimate goal is to get them on my website so they see my products. And it's another chance that I can have to sell to them. Something fun to add when they're with you in person is to say, you can have it for free now, but if you get it online, there is shipping and handling fees. Typically, they'll want to buy from you in person. Now also, with this setup here, there is a chair and the customer can hang out and have a good time and be social, which is what I want. I'm really trying to be as social as possible while keeping the conversation on my paintings. So that way I'm maximizing my time in discussion. But at the same time, I don't want that customer to linger for hours and hours, and then I have this customer and that person. So you kind of have to get a little bit thick skin and kick them out sometimes. To make things easier, I use Shopify. This is not a commercial for them. I have just noticed they have the simplest and easiest platform, straightforward, don't have to code, and it still figures it out. So check them out. They're also a little pricey, but they're worth it. When you do this, remember to pay your taxes. You don't want to get screwed over in 5 years when Uncle Sam says, hey, what happened? I do not use phone and telemarketing. I found that it doesn't work. And people just get annoyed, and personally, I've never bought anything that way, so I don't expect others to do that. I have put up a bunch of flyers, and I have sent stuff in the mail, but honestly, in the end of the day, I haven't really seen much of a return for how much I was paying for paper and shipping. The best way that I reach my customers is through social media. It works the best for me. I have been doing this for a lot of years, and obviously you've seen my website, my social media. So if you need help, and you want me to go and audit and see what you're doing, I do offer a service where I mentor, and I will spend many, many hours and figure it out, and I can help you navigate the whole world. So check out my website, and I have a bunch of office hours listed up there. Another thing you're going to want to figure out is how are you going to ship your paintings to the customer? You're going to want to have good packaging that sells a story and is branded and color coded and everything works together, so that way when your customer opens the box, they're excited, they're happy. And you got to think about also it getting shipped across country or the world. It can get destroyed. I mean, what happens if they drop it, and then you don't really want to be mean to your customer, and so what do? Do you make a copy and send it? I mean, there's a whole bunch of things to consider with packaging. I like to put a personal note in there that says, thank you for buying, thank you for patronizing my business and helping me get the word out to what I'm doing. I'm glad you love my painting. Here's a promo code for your next purchase. These kind of things help keep customer loyalty, so they'll want to come back to my website. Plus, it makes them extra happy, and it's a nice little thing. And and then you ask, can you please give me a review? And then usually they tend to give you a really good review. When you ask nicely, your package is cool, you could give them exactly what they thought they were going to get because you did a good job in the computer showing images and sizes and shapes, and so now they're happy with their purchase. And always ask for reviews, especially from your happy customers. This is a great example of how to set up a booth. This one is a big removable wall with paintings hanging on it, and notice how all of the space is covered. Maximize your space. Also, performance painting on the street is very eye-catching. People like to come over and watch and see what you're doing. And notice how behind him the paintings are hanging and drying. People are more likely to buy a painting if they saw it painted. And of course it's wet, so that's a whole thing right there, but usually they'll come back for it. I hope you have loved this class. If you have any questions, please email me or ask me on social media. I am always checking my messages, and I will get back to you as soon as I can with under 24 hours. Thank you for watching. Motley Muse Art